Hey, this is Sounds Like Rabbits. Today we'll be talking about the Bad Batch. Specifically, their MBTI types. First, we'll go with Omega's MBTI type. We're pretty sure it's ENFJ. ENFJs do tend to be very people-oriented and have enormous amounts of empathy and be able to work with large groups of people. There's the functions of the personality types a little more in depth than we did in our Transformers videos because we actually looked up, because I actually did a little bit more of a deep dive into the function stack, which the ENFJ's function stack is FE, NI, SE, TI. FE is about connecting with people.
Naturally connect.
They naturally connect you. So yeah, when she hangs out with Tech, she watches him do what he loves doing. Yeah, she connects with Echo through her ability to empathize with him. NI is kind of about organizing your inner world, which is introverted intuition. So what you get is you've got the FE, which kind of like, hi, oh, you love this thing, and I grabs that and goes, and we can use this to help this person later. Yeah. Then you get the SE, which is all about experiencing new things.
Which is why she loves Mental Mix.
That's
because it was something new, and why she wants to learn how to fly the ship.
She wants to learn something new every day. That's part of the reason why she likes hanging out with Tech. And the NIs tend to tend to very, very strong in coming up with, being very strategic, because they absorb all this information and weave it into a way of thinking about how this fits into this, so this is how it's going to be. So this is how the world works. And then you get down to her inferior function, which pops up in case of emergencies, which is TI. That's the part. That's the part of her that's going like, okay, something is wrong here.
And you see that on occasion. She may
actually end up starting acting similarly to Tech, or even kind of acting like Crosshair if she ever ends up stuck in her inferior function, because that would make her an ISTP, which is what we think Crosshair is. Crosshair, it's the other way around. TI, which is all about noticing patterns in collecting information. You working off of your own internal logic, which in some cases can make you smarter than somebody who works off of TE.
Which is also why ISTPs do not handle fools well.
They don't handle anybody they consider an idiot very well most of the time.
Crosshair tells
unless they're used to having an idiot hanging around them all the time. So Crosshair is ISTP. SE, when it's in the first or secondary function, is actually very, very good at, looking at finding a new skill and getting really good at it. That's the advantage of having SE. So his TI is going, okay, I need to learn this because this is a useful skill. And his SE is like, okay, let's go for it. and then you've got his NI, which is kind of sitting there going, okay, hey, you shouldn't trust this person. You shouldn't trust that person because that person is not following along with what's supposed to be going on. Don't trust that person. And then you got the FE and all the way at the bottom, which keeps him honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like FE in the ITP types, it keeps him authentic and honest, and it's kind of like it does make it a little hard for ISTPs, INTPs to lie about anything.
That's why Crosshair was getting really riled up and mad when Chip was active. because he couldn't tell them what he wanted to say.
The NI trying to internalize everything. So he's just kind of wrestling with that, while his FE is trying to keep him from hurting anybody.
Wrecker, on the other hand,
ESFP! In fiction, ESFPs are typically depicted as like the big dumb child. He's an ESFP. So it's SE, FI, TE, NI. SE is all about looking for something new. Looking for a new experience. So his favorite thing is to run around and bash stuff, and he's like, ooh, yeah! It's like, that's why he's very impulsive with pretty much everything he does, which is usually why ESFPs are depicted as idiots, because they're very impulsive and tend to do whatever they please. But his SE has also enabled him to become very, very good at the one thing he's interested in, which is weaponry.
And smashing stuff.
He knows how to smash stuff. That's his thing. And he's very childish. It's like he gets the FI, which is his internalized value system. I mean, the SE is just kind of active, like when Omega's FE is like, oh, hey Wrecker, you want my food? Yeah. Okay. His SE is going, yeah, I'm still hungry. Whereas Hunter pushes him off and explains to him that Omega doesn't even have a place to sleep. Why is he trying to take her food? And then his FI clicks, going, oh, I haven't really thought about you, have I? I feel so bad. I'm gonna fix this. Then you got his TE, which works up. It's logic from an outside source. I think that's the part of him that keeps track of like the weapons, and the TE is just kind of sits there and kind of sits there off to the side, going, dum over there. We need to keep moving. Things like that. Then you've got his inferior function, which is NI, which tends to absorb other people and the way they it tends to absorb how other people treat each other and how the world works. So what he's doing, what that's kind of doing, sitting there in the back, is when it's done, it takes all of the positives and negative. Their FE kind of sorts out what information they do and don't want. Whereas their NI is just kind of sitting in the back going, okay, we can trust that person, but we can't trust that person, but... What was it? Here's the positives. This person is really nice to me most of the time, but here's also the mean things that they've said. And it's... Then we move on to... Hunter. ESTJ. First function is TE, which is all about extroverted logic and organizing things based on usefulness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he doesn't. He calculates the cost and whatnot and what he needs for this to be a success, and that's kind of where strategy comes in. Then he's got but it's also what prevents him from listening to tech. As he's also the one in charge, his TE tells him, okay, this is not important right now, shove it.
And you can see the toll it takes on tech.
And you can kind of see that tech's become very submissive because of this. And then you've got you've got TE, and then you get SI, which is about maintaining order and... I mean, some people put it as maintaining tradition, but it's more like maintaining order based off of previous experience.
Yeah.
And that's... So what he's got is he's trying to maintain order in a place where literally everything he knows has been thrown out the window. That's why he's struggling so much.
The only thing he can keep control over is his own team.
So he's doubled down on that, trying to maintain some sort of functionality within the keeping the group functional as best he can. Then he's got the NE, which is about generating ideas, and that's kind of partly it between.
And you see that happen in quite a few episodes.
the NE just popping out with an idea, going, okay, we got that. We've got this. We can do this. Just figured out how. Because when the first two are running out of ideas, the third one, that's when your third function kicks in, and it's just like, bam. And I was like, hey guys, I got an idea. Let's go for it. Then you got his last function, which is FI. FI is internalized value, your internalized value system. Like record does, except his what it does when it's in the inferior function is it just kind of hey, could you please stop stepping on your friends? Don't shove him. Just stop. Be nice. Could you at least try to be nice?
And you can sort of still, he doesn't listen to it very well.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to it very well. Otherwise, he would have picked up more on the fact that Tech needs to talk. We'll get on more on that later. Now we got on to Echo. And before we talk about Echo, I want to specifically talk about Fives and Echo.
They have this somewhat twin mentality.
You can tell because there were a 2-for-1 deal for Rex. It claims Echo, it gets Fives too. And they were constantly in each other's space. They go to Shock T. They go to Shock T together and ask, "Can we?"
General, may we have a word?
You are here to discuss your squad, aren't you?
How did you, Jedi, mate?
One doesn't need to be a Jedi to feel the stress on your mind.
General, we would like to request a transfer to another squad. Bravo squad, perhaps.
They view themselves as like a team within the team. That's kind of how they view themselves.
That's kind of how twins view themselves.
Yeah, it's like,
no.
I can't get rid of her. But I'm also worried when she's not there, so. So one thing we got is, and Fives was an INFP. That much we figured out because it's just like, he's got his value system, and I mean he's very quiet. He's very quiet and reserved when he's around people he's not really comfortable with. But then once he gets used to it, or he feels like he needs to say something, he says it. I mean, and he's an idea generator. That's kind of what he does. Like, the FI tends to connect to people differently than the FE does. And Echo having that twin mentality, I think, is
part of the reason.
And Tech is an INTP, which is only one letter off, but does make quite a bit of a difference. Is only one letter off from Fives, which is Fives INFP. So it does create a smoother transition to his becoming friends with Tech. Echo's an ISFJ.
Yeah.
So yeah, ISFJs actually do get along with INTPs really well in the fact that, well, you've got the SI. Well, SI, FE, TI, NE. So you got the SI, which is about maintaining order. So and he does that. He doesn't adapt to a situation really well at all. But he does connect with people. It's like the FEs is like, hey, you need to hey, listen to this person, find out how to connect with them, because then that's how you show that you care, and if you care, that means they'll come to you and they will want you. There's like, that's helping his SI by, well, he maintains the order. He maintains the order by connecting with people. That's
why he echoes a lot.
Why he tends to echo. Why he's called Echo, because he repeats what is going on. Because that's like his SI is like that much bigger than all the rest of them.
Fives balanced him out. If you don't listen to the person with what sounds like a crazy idea, that turns out they're right,
then you're probably going to die.
He knows.
I mean, yeah, he connect. I think
And it's
well with
probably more
Echo,
likely
it's
he
he connects with Tech because he's kind of he's a little bit like Fives, but also because he realizes that Tech needs someone close to him, and nobody else is willing to do that on the level that Tech needs. Whereas with Tech, I think the entire reason why he keeps an eye on Echo is because he's the most
aware
of how fragile Echo is. Physically and emotionally. Well, physically and psychologically. Emotionally, maybe not as much, because I think Tech is kind of Tech's disconnect
is a form of PTSD.
It could be a form of PTSD, or it may be based entirely on the fact that he's not listened to by the person that he needs to listen to him. And then you got and then as his third function is TE. It's just like, okay, something isn't right here. This doesn't fit. Why doesn't this fit? Gotta take this information and piece this all together. Plus, his TI is kind of just sitting. Well, it's like his FE is like his SI is going, I'm mad. Well, I'm mad because this is not the way things are supposed to be. We shouldn't trust the Separatists. And then Tech with his TI kicking. It was TI in charge, going, hey, appealing to his internalized logic, which is Echo's internalized logic, which is like, you're right. You know you're right. I know you're right. But you're right. When you're right, you're right. That's it. Then you got Annie in the back. Annie all the way in the back. All the way in the back, which is like, okay, hey, I got an idea. Hey, I got an idea. Let's go do this. And that's kind of how it balances that's how it balances itself out. Yeah, he listens to Tech because Tech needs someone to listen to him, and that is what his FE is doing. Whereas TI is like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're right. I get it. Everything you've said makes perfect sense. And then we move on to Tech. As we said, INTP. It's very hard to give INTPs character development, but there's only one of two ways that most writers can think of to give an INTP character development. And one isn't utilized very often, but would actually make a lot of sense, which is a quest of self-discovery.
Because it's something normal INTPs need.
Tech is an INTP who doesn't have a lot of he isn't very assertive as a personality on the ship. He's just like, he's got his own little niche thing that they need, and they don't talk to him. And the other being have something completely drastic happen, and he's already been through quite a bit of drastic to deal with things by kind of going with it instead of trying to deal with it directly. Yeah, you've got his TI. You've got his TI as his top function, which kind of what it does is it's internalized logic, and what he does is he pieces things together within his own mind frame, and he does that by collecting information. And all of the information. That's kind of like he just absorbs it. And that's what his main job. It's not only is it his main job, but that's how he's designed. He was literally designed to be an INTP. Just absorb all of this information, sort it out, figure out what exactly it can be used for, and just basically put everything else that he doesn't really need in the moment, just shove it in a box to deal with, to look through later. Just shove it on a shelf. Here, the chip is our top priority. This looks interesting. But this looks interesting. This looks interesting. Yeah. That's what the P does. That's kind of what it looks like. Well, then his second function is any, which is about generating ideas, and that they require him to do that. And what they end up doing is exactly that. They ask him for ideas, but they don't want to listen to what he knows, which is really bad for INTPs, because for an INTP, the ultimate sign of trust is basically
sharing info,
turning to you and sharing what it is they've been thinking about.
It does that to me all the time.
So what the NE does, the NE generates ideas and comes up and problem solves. Then you get his third function, which is SI, which is, so yeah, you kind of got this role reversal going on that he has with Echo.
Right.
I mean, his SI is kind of sitting in the back going, okay, we need to kind of maintain order here. Just, you need to organize that a little bit more. Here, let's go take care of that.
The life support is not the only thing that needs. If it is just life support.
He views life support as like the most important thing, and it's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Especially when
but the engines are like a second. It's like second
if the
place.
life support is working, you are able to fix things. Because if the life support is not working, you are dead.
And everybody else is just, and Echo's just like, why? And then you've got the FE all the way in the back, making sure that the INTP is authentic and honest. And I mean, yeah, that's why he's connected with
Echo and Omega so
well, and he's actually
and
Hera. Hera was actually, I was kind of glad that they were on friendly terms, because it's like he's just teasing her for flying, and he just goes out of his way to show her how to do something. And I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he actually gave Chopper the rocket booster. Just the Hunter is busy telling her, no, we're not going to help you because this is too dangerous and you don't have a plan. And meanwhile, Tech's on the ship with Chopper, and before that scene, Chopper couldn't fly. You even watch the entirety of the previous episode, and not once does he try to fly. But then, after you see him in there with Tech, he comes out and he's flying,
and he's kind of wobbly, as in this is the first time.
So Tech with the INTP mentality is just like, oh hey, here's a new project, let's go do that. Like I think Chopper just followed him into the ship, going, hey, could you just hey, can you give me an upgrade? Okay. Everything else is shoved.
Yeah, you could sort of tell that he and Crosshair, they had a lot of trust between them.
I mean, because, yeah, in the season 7 of Clone Wars, what you see is Tech gives directions to target, then he automatically goes and leans, and that takes and lets Crosshair use him as a table in which to shoot off of, and that takes a lot of trust, because the sniper has to trust that you're not going to flinch. And the other one's is like, please don't let this blow up in my face. It's like, yeah, and that takes a lot of trust. And I'm wondering if the majority of the reason why they have that much trust is, yeah, they have the TI, but their TI is whereas you tend to work more SE tends to work more with concrete, here and now. NE tends to work with what if in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So Tech kind of goes on this tangents about things that don't seem important to an SE type, but Crosshair probably, I wouldn't be completely surprised if when they were just hanging out, what he would do is just not care what in the world Tech is talking about, just sit there and listen to him just talk,
babble for hours.
Just babble on for hours while he just sits there cleaning his gun.
Cleans his gun, and cleans Tech's gun, and cleans Tech's helmet.
Cleans his own helmet. I wouldn't be completely surprised if
Crosshair
the neat freak, because as a sniper, he's kind of, the mentality is stuff needs to be clean.
And you get,
whereas, I mean,
and you kind of look at his bed. Everything around it is clean. Whereas the Tech's area,
we rewatched the episode. We rewatched the most recent episode of Rescue on Ryloth, and at the end, Tech is showing Hera something, which is how, as I said, INTPs show that they like you, they like and trust you is by showing you something that they have an interest in, and it kind of looks like he's smiling, but it's a little hard to tell because his face is kind of sideways. But you do notice a little bit of a facial change when when she's like, she runs off and he's like, "Where are you going? Where are you going? Why are you running away?" So yeah.
I think Echo needs hugs.
Yeah, Echo needs more hugs. Tech needs somebody who listens. Tech needs more people to listen to him, and not shut him down just because they're not.
Because it has nothing to do with it.
It doesn't seem important information at the moment.
Yeah, Hunter calls it useless.
Yeah, he
It'll
the
fill
one
your head with
remaining
useless
person
info
he
for
needs to
hours.
stand up to and assert himself in front of is Hunter, because Hunter's the one holding him back from his character development.
Whether Hunter knows it or not.
And Hunter doesn't realize it. How he introduces Tech is...
They call him Tech. Yeah, he can fill your head with useless info for hours.
Well, the biggest way of INTP shows trust, and he's being shot down for it. And that's what Hunter's doing. Which is, I think, why Tech has such a big emotional disconnect
And why
to
he's so
everything.
distant from Hunter. Whereas he's much closer with Wrecker. I don't understand why you said it. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Crosshair is like, "You're right. I know you're right. Let's do this." and Echo. "Yeah. Well, actually."
Alright, you're right. You're right.
And Omega. Tummy. And that's more or less what we got. Sorry, we're gonna went overboard with Tech. Like, I'm an INTP, so I tend to obsess over the INTP bit.